Hey, family, welcome back to the channel. All right, hope everybody is doing well out there. Sending you guys some peace and love and healing vibes your way. I don't know when you'll watch this video, but I wanted to show you when the full moon is going to be for this month of June 2025. We have the full moon coming up on the 11th. We'll go there. Right now I'm clicked on it. It's telling us that it's a waxing gibbous, so she's on her way to become full, and she will by 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. Keep your eyes right here. It'll show you when it changes to become full. Bam. 2:46 in the morning. We have a full moon, and it says that it is in Ophiuchus. But keep in mind that Ophiuchus is the upper house of Scorpio. So we're still having a full moon in Scorpio. I don't know what mainstream astrology is saying, but it's always different than what I see up here. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. We're going to have a full moon on June the 11th, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's going to last till 4 a.m. A little bit after 4:48 a.m. Then it's not full anymore. Check out where the sun is. The sun is in the horns. We call this the Silver Gate. So a lot of predictors are, I want to say astrologers are predicting that something's going to go down on this June 11th. But right now what's going to go down is this chapter 101 that I'm going to read to you from the Holy Megillah. It's a scroll from the wizard Joseph, who is in this Holy Megillah Bible, and the teachings there is the biological father of Yahshua. Yahshua is who we know as Jesus. So welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I did get a few new subscribers. I hope you guys can catch up and enjoy the ride. We're going to get going right now. I'm not reading the whole chapter, but it does start on page 1016, and it goes all the way to like 1040 something. It's pretty long, but let's just read. So I'm reading from chapter 101 and verse 1. I, Sarah-Jahleel, have added this scroll written by Yahshua's father, Joseph, in response to the request made by Yahshua at the time of the funeral of Joseph. I, Joseph, write the following scroll in great joy. Just think, through this scroll I get to speak to Nasareans that lived long after my current incarnation, including you. What a sacred privilege. What an honor. Welcome to my scroll. This scroll is a gateway into an enchanted garden. Not only a gateway into my own enchanted garden, this scroll is also a gateway into the enchanted garden that you are. Although this scroll will include teachings about the sort of garden in which you cultivate the soil and grow vegetables, it is also a doorway into the following realization. Everything, including you, is a garden within other gardens, and all gardens are self-replicating parts of the one garden that is the universal all, universal Yahweh. The universal gardener is Yah, am, being. That's in parentheses. That's what Yah means. It means am or beingness, something like that. And then it says, the universal gardener is Yah, manifesting in all gardeners as Yah, I am, which is I be, encouraging each gardener to unfold like a sunflower beneath the sun into the joyous enlightenment experience that is the realization that we are a flowering that is aided. Oh man, this is so beautiful too. I just want to interrupt and I'm going to start over because I'm not reading it clearly. But I was thinking about my grapevines, and I got grapes on them for the first time. And I just checked it yesterday and the grapes have sprouted. And I'm telling you, it is such a beautiful feeling, and what a wonderful sight to see. The pictures I took weren't that good, but I'm gonna try to take better ones and post the sprouting grapes for you guys. Who knew? I didn't know. This is my first time doing most of this gardening stuff, so I'm amazed at every stage. And that's what this says. He says, the universal gardener is Yah, manifesting in all gardeners as Iyah, encouraging each gardener to unfold like a sunflower beneath the sun into the joyous enlightenment experience that is the realization that we are a flowering that is aided by cosmic cultivation practices within the context of universal spiritual evolution. Yea, in the universal garden, experiencing that I am is a great realization. Even so, with proper cultivation, that realization matures into an even greater realization. We are. Only from that we are realization can we ascend unto the progressively more nonviolent heavenly gardens, for until then our behavior is simply far too ruthless. I'm learning this in real time too, y'all. I have a really, really special friend of mine that is not doing well. She's struggling with some addictions and she's calling on me. And I'm not being Christ as I can be about it all. And I'm really trying to work on that because we are, as long as our brothers and sisters are suffering, we are suffering. And that's going to bring tears to my eyes. So I'm going to pause and then we're going to get started. Hey, I had to take a little break, but I'm back. So we're going to finish up a little bit more from the teachings of Joseph the wizard. He's also called Joseph the gardener. And he was saying that in in verse 12, only from that we are realization can we ascend unto the progressively more nonviolent heavenly gardens. For until then, our behavior is simply far too ruthless. Make no mistake, gardens in lower realms of the cosmic school system are anything but non-violent. Even so, these violent gardens serve the cause of universal spiritual evolution by being the appropriate location, the appropriate field of activity for souls, student gardeners, to evolve via self-cultivation practices into progressively more non-violent, merciful, and wise beings of transcendental goodness in universal love. The universe itself is a garden, the garden of Jaja, crowned in Yah. And that one whole garden consists of countless gardens within gardens within gardens. Every rung on the spiral ladder of being is a garden. And within every level or rung are countless levels and rungs, each of which is a garden that contains gardens within gardens. Indeed, this is a garden universe, and within all of these gardens, a good deal of love-making is occurring. In fact, the ultimate purpose of this one whole garden and all of its sub-gardens is to make love. That love-making becomes progressively refined as we ascend the spiral ladder of being. The ultimate purpose of every garden is to spiral us up towards progressively more evolved forms of love, towards the supernal love of Jaja, crowned in Yah. We will return to the topic. So we're at verse 24. He says, we will return to the topic of heavenly gardens, but first let us play in the soil of the garden of the earthly mother. It seems appropriate that I balance my cosmic gardening tips with some down-to-earth vegetable gardening lessons. This garden world, Mother Earth as a whole, is one earth garden, and that one garden consists of countless sub-gardens. I invite you to now enter one particular vegetable garden. I invite you to enter the gateway into my own vegetable garden. Some call me Joseph the wizard, but just as many call me Joseph the gardener. Why is that? And then verse 32, it says, it is because whenever I have, or wherever I have resided, I have cultivated a vegetable garden. I have put enough time and energy into cultivating the space that I call my garden that in comparison with most folks, I appear to be very into gardening. Also, because it is known that I am a Nasarean green wizard of white magic, I have a reputation of having an enchanted garden. People come from far away to sit and meditate in Wizard Joseph's enchanted garden. When they visit me, I encourage them to create their own enchanted garden. I hope that this scroll will encourage you to create your own enchanted garden. Not only vegetables, herb, flower, and fruit gardening happen in my vegetable garden, a variety of other experiences also happen. For behold, in my garden is where I prefer to study spiritual teachings, weather permitting. It is where I wrote this scroll. My garden is where I sit and answer the question of those that visit me for spiritual discourse. In my garden, I answer many questions of my child, Yahshua. In my garden, Yahshua answers many of my questions. In my garden, I get much of my physical exercise. In my garden, I often perform hatha yoga and meditate. In my garden, one of my favorite forms of meditation is to simply focus my attention on my work. Another of my favorite forms of meditation in my garden is to sit and watch the sunset. My garden is my favorite place to sit in silence with my wife, Mary. My garden is also my favorite place to have interesting conversation with my wife. Truth be told, our enchanted garden is a favorite location for my wife and I to make love either under a mild sun or a full moon on a thick blanket on the grass. In my garden is where I am whenever it is appropriate. I suppose that is why I am called Joseph the gardener. Okay, we're going to stop there at verse 52. And let me check the time. I wanted to read a piece from Mother Mary. She has a poem in here. So I'm going to check it and see how it sounds, and then I may add her poem or just make it all separate by itself. But we're going to keep going in this garden, and this is pretty appropriate that I have a garden and that I'm reading this scroll, and it's during this season of gardening for where I live, and that's just how Jaja is. But pray for me that I will be able to handle these situations because I'm afraid for my friend, and I'm also afraid that I may spiral down trying to help her. And so I'm feeling that, not that I don't want to help her, but that I'm being cautious and I'm not, I'm leaving it in Jaja's hands. I'm not running into the fire, but I am staying in the gap for her. And I'm trying to progressively get higher because we are, and the higher I can climb, I can also bring my fellow loved ones, my soul tribes. All of us are one, so the higher each one of us can spiral up, it's going to be better for everyone as well. So, all right, you guys have a great, wonderful day, and I'll be back soon with some more from Joseph the gardening wizard. All right, stay tuned.